chosen one. This message you are about to hear is a divine revelation from the throne room of heaven. God said, the weapon inside you cannot stay silent anymore. For too long, you've carried it quietly, hidden it in fear, or buried it beneath excuses. But heaven is thundering tonight. Rise up, use what I placed within you. This is not the hour for silence. This is not the season to shrink back. The fire you carry, the word you carry, the authority you carry, it's time to unleash it. Do you understand why the attacks against you have been so fierce? It's because the enemy knows what happens when you finally open your mouth, when you finally step into the authority you were born with. Every demon assigned to your bloodline fears the weapon inside you. Every generational curse shakes at the thought of you activating what heaven armed you with. This is not motivation. This is a mandate. God is saying, I trusted you with a sword sharper than any on earth. I trusted you with a sound that can break chains. I trusted you with power no enemy can withstand. But what good is a weapon if it never leaves its sheath? Tonight, silence ends. Tonight, the weapon must speak. Before we go further, if your spirit confirms this word, act on it now. Like this message as your agreement. Subscribe so you don't miss the next prophetic release. Drop your city and nation in the comments so we can see the remnant rising together across the earth. And to those sowing through the pinned comment link or the super thanks feature, know this: your seed is not random. It is your declaration that says, Lord, I refuse to be silent. I will use what you placed inside me. And may your seed rise as a prophetic banner over your life. May it amplify your voice, magnify your reach, and shield you as you step into obedience. The time for silence is over. Now, heaven is calling you to speak, to fight, to release what was always meant to shift atmospheres. Now stay right here. Don't scroll away. Because in the next moments, I'm going to reveal exactly how this weapon works, why God said it must be used tonight, and what happens when a chosen one finally refuses to be silent. Let's go deeper. Let's take it slowly, like teaching a child to read letter by letter. When we say weapon, do not imagine a sword, a spear, or a gun. That's human thinking. And human thinking often limits what God has designed to be supernatural. God's weapon inside you is not physical, but spiritual, divine, and unique to your calling. It is not something you can buy in a store or forge with human hands. It is something heaven placed within you before you ever entered this world. To recognize it, you must stop comparing yourself to others and begin to see through the eyes of the Spirit. For some, that weapon is prayer. When you open your mouth, things shift in the unseen realm. Darkness trembles when you pray, because prayer gives God legal access to intervene on earth. For others, that weapon is faith. You believe for the impossible when others give up, and your trust in God becomes a doorway for miracles. For some, it is your voice, words that heal, encourage, correct, and carry fire that pierces through the hardest hearts. For others, it might be creativity, wisdom, compassion, leadership, boldness, courage, revelation, or service. No matter what it looks like, the power of it is that it has been anointed by God. It may not look like much to you. Moses thought his staff was just a stick, but in God's hand it parted seas and brought water from rocks. David thought his sling was just a strip of leather, but it brought down a giant and shifted the destiny of a nation. Esther thought her beauty and courage were ordinary, but God used them to save his people from destruction. What seems small in your hands becomes unstoppable when God breathes upon it. That is the mystery of the weapon within you, ordinary in the natural, extraordinary in the spirit. The weapon inside you is simply this: the gift, the fire, the divine deposit heaven placed within you before you were even born. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb I knew you. Before you were born I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. That means you were not born empty, you were born armed. Heaven did not send you here without equipment. You came already loaded with purpose, power, and potential. And when you finally recognize it and surrender it back to God, hell will regret the day you discovered the weapon within you. Now, let me explain why many chosen ones live with their weapons silent. Think of a child who learns to talk. At first, the words are locked inside, sounds, cries, noises that carry no form. But with time and guidance, those words take shape and finally come forth. That is exactly how many of you are with your divine gift. It has always been there, but pain, pressure, and the weight of life kept it caged. Fear told you, you're not good enough. People told you, stay quiet, don't try. Circumstances told you, you don't have the resources. And the enemy whispered, you have no value. Slowly, you believed the lies, and instead of your weapon roaring, you hid it. Instead of your gift shining, you buried it. But silence does not mean absence. Just because your weapon has not been used does not mean it is gone. Just because your voice has been quiet does not mean it is powerless. Your weapon has only been waiting for the right moment, the right season, the right call from heaven. Life may have pushed you down, but it never stripped you of what God placed inside you. The enemy may have tried to mute you, but he could not erase what God wrote in your destiny. Deep inside, the fire is still there. Hidden, yes. Dormant, maybe. But absent, never. The very fact that you are hearing this word now is proof that what God gave you is still alive, still intact, and still ready. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 says, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Chosen one, your weapon has been waiting for its appointed time, and God says that time is now. What has been silent will speak. What has been buried will rise. What has been hidden will be revealed. Heaven is declaring that the delay is over, the silence is broken, and the season of activation has arrived. Pick up your weapon, lift your head, open your mouth. This is the hour you were forged for, and no power of hell can silence you again. Let's slow down and look at your life. Do you ever wonder, why is my life so full of battles? Why do I face so many strange attacks, setbacks, betrayals, rejections, and storms? It is not because you are cursed. It is not because you are unlucky. It is because you are loaded. Heaven placed something dangerous inside of you, and hell has been trying to silence it from the day you were born. The devil doesn't waste his energy on empty people. He only attacks what threatens him. If you feel surrounded by warfare, it is because you are carrying something powerful. The pressure you face is proof of the treasure you carry. Pharaoh hunted babies because Moses carried deliverance. Herod slaughtered children because Jesus carried salvation. Goliath stood in the field taunting Israel because David carried destiny. And the enemy has been after you for the same reason, because you carry a weapon that threatens his kingdom. Even before you fully understood what was inside you, hell already recognized it. That is why the rejection came. That is why the betrayal happened. That is why you felt storms rise out of nowhere. The enemy's greatest fear has never been who you were yesterday, but who you are becoming today. John chapter 10 verse 10 says, The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. Satan has tried to steal your joy, kill your hope, and destroy your destiny because of the abundant weapon God placed in you. But here's the good news. You survived. Every attack was designed to bury you, yet you are still here. Every storm was meant to drown you, yet you are still breathing. And the very fact that you are still standing means your weapon is indestructible. What God put inside of you cannot be stolen, cannot be destroyed, and cannot be silenced. Your survival is not just proof of your resilience, it is evidence of your calling. Now let's break this down very simply. A weapon that remains silent is as good as wasted. A trumpet unblown cannot announce victory. A sword kept in its sheath cannot win a war. A light covered by a basket cannot chase away darkness. In the same way, when you hide your weapon, it becomes as though it never existed. The enemy celebrates not when you are empty, but when you are silent, because silence is defeat without a fight. And many chosen ones have unknowingly allowed the enemy to advance, not because they lacked power, but because they refused to release it. When you hide your weapon, darkness advances. When you keep quiet, lies spread unchecked. When you sit still, lives that were meant to be transformed through you remain untouched. This is why heaven is sounding this urgent call. Silence must end. God did not place fire in you for you to keep it locked up. He did not trust you with revelation, gifts, creativity, or faith so that it would remain unused. Your gift is not just for you. It is for nations, for generations, for those who are waiting for the sound of your trumpet, the swing of your sword, the light of your fire. To keep it buried is to rob the world of the very answer God put inside of you. Remember Jesus' parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 to 30. The one who buried his talent was not punished for stealing, lying, or killing. He was called wicked because he refused to use what had been entrusted to him. In other words, hiding your weapon is not humility, it is disobedience. Heaven does not applaud timidity when it is an excuse for laziness or fear. Heaven demands faithfulness, and faithfulness means using what God gave you, even if it looks small, even if you feel unqualified, even if you are afraid. Because when you release it, God multiplies it. When you hide it, you waste it. And today, God is saying to you, let silence end, and let your weapon speak. Many chosen ones ask, but how do I know what my weapon is? Let's make it very simple. Your weapon is not hidden far away. It is already inside you. Start by asking yourself, what burns in my heart? What passion keeps me awake at night? God often places fire in the very place where your spirit refuses to settle. That burden you carry, that thing you cannot ignore, is often the clue to the gift heaven has planted in you. The devil attacks it fiercely because he knows once you release it, you will shift atmospheres. Another way to discover your weapon is to look at the pain you have overcome. Often, your scars are not just reminders of survival. They are tools of healing for others. If God brought you through rejection, He may use you to comfort the rejected. If you endured sickness, He may use you to pray healing into others. If you survived storms, you become the voice that tells others, "Peace, be still." Your scars are not wasted. They are sharpened into weapons when placed in God's hands. And then ask yourself, what do people always come to me for? If others naturally seek your wisdom, your encouragement, your creativity, or your leadership, it is often a sign of the gift you carry. Finally, pay attention to what makes you come alive when you do it. That energy, that joy, that sense of purpose you feel. It is your God-breathed fire. Your weapon is not complicated. It does not require endless searching. It is already within you. Exodus chapter 4 verse 2 reminds us of this truth. God asked Moses, "What is in your hand?" Moses replied, "A staff." That ordinary stick became the rod that parted seas and defeated Pharaoh. So I ask you now, what is in your hand today? It may look ordinary, but when heaven breathes on it, it becomes extraordinary. That is your weapon, and it is time to use it. Weapons are not quiet. Weapons are loud. When David released his sling, it thundered against Goliath and shook an entire nation out of fear. When Joshua blew the trumpet, the sound itself became a weapon that brought down the mighty walls of Jericho. When Peter stood up and preached, His words pierced the hearts of thousands, and in a single day, the church was born. Do you see it? Weapons are not designed to be hidden. They are designed to be released. And when they are released, they carry a force that shifts history. Your weapon carries a sound. It may not be the sound of stone against a giant or the sound of trumpets in a battle, but it is the sound heaven entrusted to you. For some, it is the sound of prayer, words that move mountains. For others, it is the sound of faith, believing loudly when everyone else has surrendered. For others, it is the sound of encouragement, creativity, leadership, or testimony. And God says, "The earth is waiting for your sound." Romans chapter 8 verse 19 declares, "The creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." Your sound is part of that revelation. Romans chapter 10 verse 14 asks, "How will they hear without someone preaching? I ask you now, how will they see without your light? How will they be healed without your testimony? How will they believe without your faith?" Chosen one, your sound is overdue. Heaven has been waiting, earth has been waiting, and even hell knows it cannot stop the moment you release it. This is your time to lift your voice, swing your weapon, and let the sound within you be heard. Because when you release it, lives will change, chains will break, and the kingdom of darkness will fall. This is not a casual word, this is urgent. Heaven is saying, delay no more. Every delay carries a cost. Delay in prayer means unanswered battles linger longer than they should. Delay in speaking means lies spread unchallenged and gain power over minds. Delay in rising means destinies connected to yours remain bound in waiting. The enemy's greatest strategy is not always destruction. Sometimes it is simply delay. Because if he can keep you silent and hesitant, he knows he can keep entire generations from receiving what God placed inside you. Look at Esther's story. She did not have the luxury of endless waiting. The lives of her people depended on her timing. If she had kept silent, her nation would have perished. That is why Mordecai shook her with those prophetic words in Esther chapter 4 verse 14. If you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. Silence would have been fatal. Delay would have been deadly. Esther's courage to act in her moment became the key to her people's deliverance. Chosen one, this is your such a time as this. You are not in this season by accident. You were positioned, prepared, and preserved for this very hour. Do not let fear delay you. Do not let doubt silence you. Do not let excuses rob you of obedience. Heaven has been waiting for your move, earth is groaning for your sound, and lives are depending on your obedience. Rise now, because if you delay, others may miss their deliverance. But if you step into your calling today, your weapon will release freedom, your voice will release healing, and your obedience will rewrite history. Now let me encourage you. Maybe you're thinking, but I've wasted so many years. I've been silent too long. Listen carefully. God restores. Joel chapter 2 verse 25 declares, "I will restore to you the years the locust has eaten." What you call wasted, heaven calls preparation. Those years of silence were not empty, they were sharpening you in secret. Every tear, every failure, every hidden season was shaping your character, humbling your heart, and deepening your roots. God never wastes pain, and He never wastes time. What felt like delay was divine training, because weapons are not forged overnight, they are forged in fire. And now, when your weapon roars, it will not be weak, it will not be ordinary, it will not be small. It will carry double fire, double weight, and double glory because of the years that tried to silence you. Your scars will give your words authority. Your battles will give your prayers power. Your survival will make your testimony unstoppable. You may feel late, but heaven says you are right on time. Chosen one, your best days are not behind you. They are in front of you, and the roar you release now will shake the very gates of hell. Let me declare over you right now, your mouth will open and your weapon will speak. No longer will your voice be silenced by fear or buried under doubt. Every word you release will carry fire, authority, and power that shifts atmospheres. Your hands will move and your weapon will act. No longer will hesitation hold you back. Everything you put your hand to will prosper because heaven has breathed on it. Your spirit will burn and your weapon will shine. No longer will your light be hidden. It will break forth like the dawn, scattering darkness everywhere it appears. No fear, no doubt, no rejection, no delay will cage you anymore. The lies that once muzzled your voice are broken. The chains that once tied down your gift are shattered. Every label the enemy tried to put on you, unworthy, unqualified, unwanted, is being stripped away by the word of the Lord. The Spirit of God says you are chosen, you are armed, and you are unstoppable. What silenced you yesterday will no longer have power today, because heaven has already decreed your release. Because God said, the weapon inside you cannot stay silent anymore. It was never designed to remain hidden. It was created to roar, to shine, to act, and to transform. You are stepping into a season where your gift will no longer be dormant but active, no longer overlooked but undeniable. The same God who placed that weapon inside of you is now commanding it to be revealed. And as it comes forth, chains will break, lives will be healed, and the kingdom of darkness will fall back in terror. Chosen one, rise up, your weapon has found its voice. Chosen ones, this is the moment, this is the day, this is the hour. Heaven has marked it on its calendar, the earth is groaning for it, and hell is trembling at it. You, yes you, are the one chosen for this time. You are not here by accident, not standing by coincidence, not breathing by chance. Everything you have endured, everything you have survived has led to this appointed season, and heaven is declaring that the time of silence is over and the time of release is here. So rise up, release your prayer that shakes foundations, release your faith that moves mountains, release your word that pierces hearts, release your gift that unlocks destinies. Let your light shine boldly where darkness once ruled. Let your weapon roar with the fire God placed inside you. Do not wait for another sign. Do not wait for another confirmation. This is your confirmation. You were born for this, and the whole of creation is waiting for your sound. Because when it does, darkness will flee, chains will break, souls will be saved, and history will be changed. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 1 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Chosen one, this is your command. Arise, no more delay. Shine, no more hiding. Release your weapon, no more silence. The fire is released, the glory is rising, and your hour has come. Step forward now, because heaven has sounded the trumpet, and the kingdom of God is ready to move through you.